She turned to me and said, "Do you think I'm happy?" I heard a question I didn't want to hear. I knew the answer. I listened to the cry, but to face it made me uneasy. But I felt the realness, I felt the bravery in the moment. So I answered. You see, she's a gardener who has great plans, but works with what she's got. She loves creation, sees beauty and wants to share it with you, understands the cruelty of nature, and yet it fills her with wonder. Have you tried a rhubarb, fresh from Granny's garden? You should. Maybe there are prettier roses, but you'd rather be a cooking apple, or better yet, a gooseberry. Her hands are worn, the flesh loosened by age. She held my hand in church today for the first time in too long. Her eyes are still young. This Joe Bangles is not condemned when there is breath left, still seeking that happiness. God love her. People before prophet, she says. A modern-day Guevara or Connolly as a nation nets her down, working 34 years in a job draining away her very essence for what? To feed me. Educate me. Clothe me. But not stopping there. I remember she took me to Mrs. Prendergast near Butlins when we couldn't afford to go to Butlins. Caravanning in Roundwood with a takeaway Chinese, the Isle of Man, the theatre, Tuesday swimming with a chicken snack box afterwards, cinema in Coolock for the Saturday Kids special where I got most of the popcorn, jazz after church every Sunday as we did today, 28 years on. Taught me to notice the sunset. Her bondage, a sick child in a broken marriage, all this, and I don't know how to speak to her. I always want to hug her, and I don't know how. So a veil kissed laced with courtesy will do. She's been learning how to stop living inside her own head. Gets up, goes out, half the battle. No panic attacks for a while. Still manic but calmer now. Still pretending. Still xenophobic. Homophobic. Not meaning to be. Lost marbles down gutters like dreams. The anger is fresher though. Built up over years of false dawns and mistrust. Reduced expectations, frustrations, wants, contentment. Now, quiet. Yes, quiet. Peace. Or perhaps bird song. In her garden, where she will grow apples, pears, strawberries, spuds, raspberries, and gooseberries. Watch them bloom again and return to the soil. But not before she has lived a life deserving. My mother told me today, she pretends to be happy. What do you say to that? Let's watch her flower now, I say, and bring her some water.
All right, here we go. Call it a scene, call it a movement. You know something's happening, right? Believe it. Something's hub-bubbling and it's happening tonight. There's a buzz building in intensity like secret lovers in a tryst. This movement's already happening. We're what the so-called scene has missed. There's plenty of us in it with words and music. We're taking back the night. It's a cultural revolution. Are you willing to join us in the fight? Call it a scene. Call it a movement. Call it what you like. Something's really happening and it's happening tonight. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Down in the basement of the old bar at the weekly open mic, streams of syllables bounce off tables. There's tunnels headed towards the light. Front of house, the poet MC standing proud wraps words round ideas for the ever-willing crowd. A chuckle, then of course a little talking shite. He's with us, you know, and we're readying for a fight. Call it a scene, call it a shift, call it things being set right. There's a new lyrical movement happening and it's happening tonight. Bring it back, bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Upstairs in an icon, at the Rising Monthly gig, there's a snap and crackle in the air, passion, emotions that are big. A new cultural imperative, we're changing passion, replace elites. We're mixing up new medicine, we're sampling different beats. And every time I twist a rhyme, I know that we're on track. Cause I feel the love in this room and I just want to throw it back. Something incredible's happening. This band is growing, yet it's tight. We're renaissancing and reforming nightly, and yeah, it's happening tonight. Bring it back, bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Over in the corner where the light falls on the mic, singer softly starts to strum his song. Like that, the crowd dance on melodies, his well-chosen words. Arms join in singing for the birds, the birds, the birds. Rooms bright and buzzing, revelations by the minute. We're thick as thieves together, busy whispers at their limit. Call it a scene, call it a movement. We're blazing trails through the night. There's something brilliant happening, and it's happening tonight. Cole, bring it back, bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Oh yeah, there's monthly magic also on the north side of the river. Poet crackles truths that lyrically deliver. A wry smile, a solid beat, another honest line. Slices of a lived life tangled up in rhyme. He and we need your help. We need your art together. Let's take a vow. We will reform. We will make art. We will be reborn right now. This is a circle, a cycle, something bigger than ourselves, all right. Something promising's happening, and it's happening tonight. Bring it back, bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Too long this city and this country's been misdirected, torn apart. So easy to blame it on others. Instead, we've looked inside our hearts. This is a call to arms, my friends. We're fomenting a new revolution. Writing poems, singing songs, creating mind-blown solutions. Moving out of the recent darkness, we're switching on a light. Band of artists united and breaking up, reforming every night. This is a movement. This is a moment. A survival of the smartest. Something fresh is truly happening. It's happening. So join us. We're the reform artists. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back, that old school crack.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Don't get me wrong, I've had some nice times with blokes like you. Been in the company of some real nice joes, dudes, buds and bros, young bucks with bright clothes who'd brighten a room with their presence. But it's endlessly depressing when you lean in close like that and say, here, listen, if you're stuck, I'll hook you up. I've coke or blow, just so you know. And the way you wink, not realising what I think. Like, are you stupid or what? Have you simply forgotten all them other scurrying specimens? Yeah, sure, you'll be different. You're going to make it. You'll avoid the rats on the run, all them psychos with guns. And if you do survive, God help us, 'cause you'll be just like all the rest. Every common man's worst nightmare, your twisted best, as you develop a blind spot for the children watching. When you shoot men in the head, all hopscotch stopped dead by some bro or daddy's blood spraying a short spattering rain that burns like acid into their childhoods. But no, Not you, hands open your plate. You're just one of those noise stealers. You'll just take what you need and have nothing to do with the bodies piling up in newspapers, brains exposed to the air, a steaming mess of black thoughts and goo to be tiptoed round and waded through. Not just by me, but by every other poor schmo who has to live in this Colosseum that your filthy claws had the gall to maul and shape from the muck on our once clean streets. So please, excuse me if for the sake of my dignity I'll keep you away from me and in my mind paint you black as I smile with quiet tact and count those targets on your back as you live.